Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. We're taking a look at this bird head here. You can see the actual full bird. If you look out at the head there, you can see how the beak is represented. These are shale artifacts. They represent birds in so many different directions and also humans. You can see how these large bird heads are depicted, big triangle shapes. And we're gonna take a look at a few of these because these have to go back where they came from. There is, and I don't talk a lot about this kind of stuff too much, but there is a lot of energy on these. And I don't know if it's mixing well with the stone artifacts that I have, or if they're so deep and easy to see, and they're also disposable. So when you break them open, little shards of different effigies come out, and we'll take a look at that now. You guys have known about model spear points. That's what this outside image is. It's a model of a spear point. You can see how it looks just like a big, huge paleo scraper. And that's what this is. It's a model of that. On the interior though, we're gonna have the images of the humans, and I'll show you a few of them here, much easier to see on this side. So we'll end up with bird heads and silhouettes here. You can see how there's a silhouette perhaps of a bird head and also of a big cardinal. You can see how the beak of the cardinal and the eye and the big crest is sticking up with his little swoopy sideburn that they have. And inside of this section here, we'll have a human silhouette. Now, flipping this over, we'll have a mammoth on the right, you can see portrayed. You see how this elephant is done with the red trunk and the circle eye. And then on this side, we're going to have probably another mammoth or human. Looks like we have another mammoth on the left-hand side as well, which makes sense. The way they did these, it's pretty incredible. So like I say, they're destructive. There's little portraits of humans. You can see the two eyes, the nose, and the little smiley face. And then as we pull this sheet off, all the other sheets underneath it will have more and more images. So check out some of the on-site stuff if you'd like to see that. It's really interesting the way they made the art. They broke it into sections and then repainted it. And so you end up in the core with these very defined human silhouettes here that you guys can see. Statues of women, perhaps, with birds on their heads. If you're not seeing the bird on the woman's head, if you look at the round head, the white section, and if you look at the black beak, that's pointy, pointing to the left. And if you look to the right of that black pointy beak, you can see the circle for the bird's eye on top of the human here. And there's quite a few really great images on this. We can take a look at a few of these together, but right now I'm gonna pause the video and we'll get back to you in the next one. So for this guy right here, we can see he's kind of like a bird man. He's a human bird figure. But as we open him up, we'll be able to see other bird heads you can see portrayed with the perfectly round head and that beak. And then when we take this off here, this will actually be a little human. This is just a little character. Sorry for our focus there. With a little black eye and probably a little beard. And then when you flip him up this way, it'll be a human with that orange red hair. And then this guy will probably turn into a different type of bird and human. So we can see how the eye is very beautifully portrayed there. And how this is a bird with the flat crest and also a human on the side there. And we can see these little carvings in here. All of this is intentional. These are the original carvings, which is really a fantastic way to make the art. So we'll go ahead and take a look at a few of these. Like I said, we got to go a little bit slow because my screen is kind of foggy and I don't want the picture to be bad. So I have to keep on heating it up next to my fire, believe it or not. So let's go ahead and pause and we'll check out the next one. So we talked about what is a core. We talked a little bit about the nature of the art, the way that it is only viewable in one orientation normally. But as you can see, this cardinal here pointing with its yellow beak and the crest on top, this bird here, we can point it a little further and then make this bird head to the left poke out. And that section that we were looking at as the bird's beak before becomes very thin, so it's invisible to us. So here we have the bird here with the beak on the left, the round head, and the tail portrayed. This is just an example of how the art works here. Here we have another pink bird. You can see the beak and the head on the right-hand side. There's still a little bit of a clay pack you can see, but if you look at the tail, the way it's very thin, this is a North Carolina meme, and it's a very beautiful piece. We can take a look at a few more birds because it's not just one bird on here, but there will be a few. So here, pointing to the left, we can see again with the tail and the detail there with the head with the yellow beak painted in. And I'll try to show us that face a little better so that you guys can see. If you look at the carvings for the wing and things, it's only visible at this 1 degree, as you guys can see. I'm sorry for floating it around before, but this is the tail on the right-hand side, the wing in the middle, and the head and beak on the left-hand side. Here we show a representation of a core. You can see the bird head at the top with the crest separated there. When we line it up, you can see how the right wing is portrayed. That crest might be the left wing of the whole bird flying. You can see how it's depicted there. So just this one angle is showing what we're looking at. And if you look closely at the head, you can see how these angles come out. And there's little notches in there for the crest. I'll try to fix our focus there. There you go. I have my phone holding on just by my tippy fingers. But just want to show you guys the cores, the bird cores, that all the little sheets fall off of. And these are the representations of birds. And the birds, they don't stop there. They go pretty far. You can see the crest and the beak of the bird here, pointing to the right with the little carving for the eye. To the left here, we'll probably see a bird man, but we're trying to stick with the birds right now. But if you guys can see all these beautiful colors and everything, and then once you are able to see how these are intentional, how these were made by the ancient people, you really fall in love with this stuff. We can see how there's probably a bird depicted to the right-hand side here in this direction. Fantastic. And we'll save these human characters that you can see with their pupils, kind of like Happy Halloween. We'll save these guys for later. Just a sec, we'll show some more.